So, I didn't really accomplish anything today. It's been somewhat of a really exceedingly aggravating day. Tried to go get my blood work done again, but I got the hours wrong again. But we're going to succeed tomorrow. We're going to make sure that we go get the blood work done tomorrow. And had a huge falling out with one of the local friends that I was supposed to be starting a D&D group with. I told him that he was not allowed to use the Unearthed Arcana book because A, I don't have it, and B, I'm not familiar with it, and I didn't want to learn it before the campaign started. Little background on that whole thing. We're starting a 5e campaign, 5th edition. I'm not familiar at all with the system, so I wanted to keep the first campaign simple. Core rulebook, DM's guide, monster manual, that's it. I just wanted to have something nice and simple and easy. And I said no Unearthed Arcana, and well, that led to a humongous argument. I'm not going to say that I was perfectly in the right, but the situation escalated sufficiently that I am now no longer on speaking terms with this person. And I'm not entirely sad about that, because right at the moment, with my current state of mental health, I don't need that kind of toxicity in my life. So I blocked him and told the other two members of the gaming group that due to his little tantrum, that we would be unable to do gaming to our D&D group, which is a little disappointing, but I'm sure we'll find more people. There's a couple of really cute guys that work at a local store called the K-Max. It's the local gaming store where the D&D books were purchased. So maybe we can make some new, less toxic friends. Anything else interesting happen today? Not really. Had McDonald's for dinner. I'm going to regret that tomorrow. But it was the only meal we had today because today was so massively screwed up. Like, today was not a good day. But, there's always tomorrow. Seems like, what the hell year is it? 2019 has decided to kind of beat me up a little bit at the start, but that's okay. May as well start on a low note, because we can work up to a high note eventually, hopefully. Because of all the craziness that was going on, I got absolutely nothing done for the main channel. Starting to get really frustrated with myself about that. But, that's the way it is. I'll be posting an update. After I finish recording this, I'm just going to do like a quick 30-second blurb for the main channel so that I can tell people, no, I'm not dead. I just haven't had the chance to start working on anything just yet. Shoulder's good. I have full range of motion. It's not really even sore anymore. I can lift and move things, but the wrist, like for just normal stuff, it's pretty okay. But like if I'm trying to pull my shoe on, that really hurts. Taking my shoes on and off, and anything that puts any sort of strain on my wrist joint causes me a fair bit of distress. But that is also getting better. Like, that's a little sore doing that, but it's almost completely better. Yeah, I can't really think of any other update. So just a quick update on my life. It's this daily thing. It's I don't know. I should be able to keep up with it. It seems like I'm doing pretty well so far. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to stop doing end screens on the vlogs. There's absolutely no point to it. I can't put just a subscribe link. I have to put a video on the end screens, and it's too much work to go find a video from my channel and get a link and put it on this channel, because I can't have both channels open at the same time on my browser. I can either be logged in one channel, or I can be logged in the other channel. I can't have parallel windows open, and that is supremely frustrating. But anyway, so yeah, I don't believe I've actually shown this on either channel. This is a project, a proof of concept that I was working on quite a while back, that I just haven't continued working on, which I should probably rectify at some point. I wanted to make sort of a greeting card sort of thing with this chasing lights thing. The code for this is actually a modified version of the code that Big Clive did for his meteor lights. If I can find that video, I'll put a link right here. But I bought the wrong kind of pick for it, and the code that he wrote was for less advanced pick, and the code wouldn't work on this one. So I had to get some help from the microchip forums, and they were exceedingly helpful in figuring out how to decompile the code that Big Clive wrote and then recompile it to make it work with this this processor. They were very kind to help. But yeah, it's just this little tiny itty bitty focus. Tiny chip there that's being held in this really cool. Well, let me show you what this thing does. This is a very neat piece of tech. Where are my angled tweezers? This really wasn't supposed to be a tech channel, but I keep showing techie things because it's kind of all I know. Anyway, so this this thing has some pins here at the bottom, standard widths and positioning for, probably could have just plugged that directly into the board. Standard for protoboards here. And it's got this cute little spring-loaded mechanism here, and I can push down on that, and then you can put an SMD chip into this little harness. And it's got some little fingery claw things that come in and clamp down on the pins of the SMD chip. And then they provide a nice positive connection, so you can plug it in, and then right now it's booting up. It's doing a test on the lights, which is something that Big Clive integrated into the code so that you can troubleshoot if any of your LEDs aren't working. Because as you can see, the wiring harness for these LEDs... Bugger, I'm gonna have to stitch this video together now. That's annoying. Anyway, so you can see here this labyrinthine mess of wires that's connected to these LEDs, and the reason why it has to be so complicated is because there's only 4 output pins on this device. So you have to do something called tri-state multiplexing, which is ridiculously complicated, and Big Clive explains it in the video that I hopefully linked in that card. And, he had his own way of setting up a piece of wood, and you'd socket the LEDs in, and you'd have sort of a loom of the wire and a guide and all of that. But being as I was just doing a proof of concept, I didn't want to do the whole thing with the wood, so I did this instead. And it was the first time I actually realized that I could use the letters and numbers to keep track of how I was wiring stuff. So each of these LEDs has a letter and number assigned to each of its pins. So this LED, for instance, is E10 and F10. So, I was able to assign the anode and cathode of each LED to a number value. Then I was able to build a table to tell me how to wire it correctly, working off of Big Clive's diagram for how he wires them. So I felt that that was a pretty neat thing that I came up with. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop blathering on about that. Thanks so much for watching, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.